I do want to just sort of talk about niches for a minute because we come from a niche obsessed business background, most of us. There is a whole lot of talk about niching yourself. And certainly I would say, there's a certain benefit to niching. I mean, if you sell Harley Davidson motorcycle parts, that's a very your targeted market is very, very niched, right? You are selling to people who love Harley Davidson, and it's a passionate group of people. It's a group of people who, in the middle of nowhere, this is my sister, in the middle of nowhere where there's a Harley Davidson store, you have to run in and buy one of their, I guess they have like little chips. For all the different stores have little chips, and so you have to run in and get a chip for your little chip collection, your Harley Davidson chip collection. So I think it's easy if you have a very clear targeted market. But we're in this amazing renaissance right now. We are. I would challenge you. I would challenge all of you. I Tell me on this entire call, is there somebody on this call that only has one certification, one training, and they only do like one thing? Go ahead, raise your hand. Everybody's hiding behind their screen, but no, I don't think I've talked to you guys. I've been talking to you guys for weeks. You guys are Renaissance people. You have information. Many of you have information about the regular world. Do you know how many tax accountants there are in this group? Cracks me up, right? Tax accountants who are secretly doing tarot card readings in the closet. Come out, okay? You guys are skilled in different healing modalities. Several of you are like coach trained in like 500 different coach training program. Several of you, I mean, many of you are doing tarot reading, intuition, human design. Some of you have been writing coaches. Some of you have been all kinds of things. I mean, it's insane the variety contained within each and every one of you. The world right now, right now the world doesn't need specialists unless you're somebody who can specialize in preventing hacking. I think that's like the specialism du jour. Okay. But other than that, the world doesn't need specialists. The world needs generalists. The world needs people who can see all the parts of the picture right now, because the picture itself is changing so fast and there's so many facets, and people are looking for so many different kinds of answers. And when we start to define success, not as how much money do you make, or how many numbers are there on your scale, or how many years of education do you have, or whatever, right? When we start to define success with a metric that says, I create well being, I'm living in a state of well being. Well, if you have clients and you're bringing them into a state of well being, there's not just one thing, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Where's the pill, right? It doesn't work that way. You're helping people realign. You're helping them get clear about who they are and getting that synced up. And then you're teaching them, how do you take this person who you've become, this aligned expression of yourself? How do you take this and go out into the world and create the relationships, create the right work, create the abundance, create the health and wellness and the vitality, create the impact? I mean, how many of you in these interviews that we've had, so many of you have passion projects, things that you want to do as part of your life's work, forests you want to save, women you want to serve. That's part of what you're doing too. You're helping people get connected to those pieces. And it doesn't take just one tool. You're like rebuilding the car, right? You're rebuilding the vehicle and getting it ready for higher states of energy, higher quality of life and living. And if you limit yourself to, okay, it's women 38 to 42 who live in Nebraska who only use orange sponges on Sundays when they're scrubbing the barbecue platter. Come on, you're bigger than that. You're way bigger than that. And you have way more to give than that. So this is why I'm stressing that we get this model created, and you're not stuck in it. You can flow with it, and I'm going to give you some variability around it. But this is why I'm giving you a model. And then from that model, we slide into personal branding, not business branding. Okay. We're not going to do like, how do I brand my business? Meh. You are your brand. You are the brand for everything you do. And so you have to be clear about, who are you in the marketplace? What do you stand for? Who are you talking about? What is your story? Because if people are clear about who you are, then you can go do whatever you want. You can have a publishing company and be a writer and be a healer and have a coaching practice and train people how to do feng shui and live on a boat. Because that's you. You laugh, but it's true. I know people who do this. You know, and I think the example I used, I can't remember what I've recorded something recently. I think it was for you guys. You know, think about you know, all these guys right now, all these actor guys. Oh God, I forgot his name now. I feel really bad. George Clooney. George Clooney, right? We know George Clooney is an actor. He also has a tequila company, right? So, you know, when he does tequila, it's like we don't get confused. Like, wait, George, this isn't your niche, right? It's like you're like, oh, that's George. Yeah, I see George on a motorcycle selling tequila. Yeah, that's George, right? So you have to know who you are and you have to show up as yourself in the marketplace and you have to be clear about what do you stand for? What is your heart saying? What is your philosophy? What is your core philosophy about the world? And when you open your mouth, and every time you open your mouth and you show up in social media or on your website or in your emails, when you're showing up as yourself, and then you can do whatever the world needs you to do, and you can stay in the flow of life's intelligence rolling through you in this coherent state, and you can serve at your highest level because you're not figuring out how you have to share, how you have to serve. The universe is pointing you where you need to be, and all you have to do is be yourself. Does that make sense? So let's drop the niche thing. Let's just never even say the word niche again. You can have a target market for a particular program, but that's not your niche. And you're not a niche, and don't stick yourself in a niche. No niching. No niching allowed. You are cosmic revolutionaries and you are Renaissance healers who are arriving at the edge of a massive shift on this planet. And your job is to see what's needed and to facilitate what's needed so that we can continue to move towards attracting and creating and activating the elegant solutions to the challenges facing humanity today. Boom, done. That's it. That's your job.